year was 1973. The first 5 months of that year were busy with culturally significant happenings. In January, Richard Nixon was inaugurated for his second term as President of the United States. February saw the first American prisoners of war released from Vietnam. Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon was released for general consumption in March. The World Trade Center opened to the public in April. And the Watergate scandal hearings, which involved the aforementioned President Nixon, began being televised in May. Amid all of these events, a family of 3 living in Tucson, Arizona, a mom, a dad, and their 3-year-old daughter, welcomed into the world their newest member. On Tuesday, May 22nd, at approximately 12:30 p.m., Mr. Brown, known as Michael in his early years, was born. Michael's father, Ken, was a pilot in the Air Force. So after living on Davis-Monthan Air Force Base for a couple of years, the Brown family was transferred to Beale Air Force Base in California. They packed all their belongings, which included 2 poodles and a car full of plants, and drove to their new home in the Golden State.
For 2.5 years, Michael and his family lived on base at Beale. He has fond memories of attending Jack and Jill preschool during this time. The image above his jacket hook and cubbyhole was a light bulb, as well as hunting for roly-polies in his front yard with Amy, a neighborhood friend. By 1978, Michael's mom and dad decided it was time to live off base in order for him and his sister Kelly to experience some non-military life. So they bought a house in Yuba City, which is where Michael spent the rest of his childhood growing up. 1978 through 1979 saw him begin his public school career at Tierra Buena Elementary, where the playground was divine and the cafeteria smelled like mashed potatoes.
At a young age, Michael developed a fondness for movies. He recalls being mesmerized by the flying carpet scene in The Thief of Baghdad, singing along with Mowgli and Baloo in The Jungle Book, and loving every minute of the roller coaster ride of a movie that was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Bum ba bum bum, bum ba bum.
1982 was a turning point for Michael for 2 reasons. He saw E.T. for the first time,
Ouch.
and would subsequently see it 21 more times in the theater over the following years, and he finally was allowed to get a dog. Michael, his dad, and his sister drove out to a stranger's house after seeing an ad in the local paper advertising free puppies. He had the hardest time deciding which one to take, but when the runt of the litter started to chew on his shoelace, the decision was made for him. Socks joined the family and became Michael's closest confidant for the next 11 years.
The early to mid-80s was an interesting period in time. It saw the U.S. overcome with Pac-Man fever, leg warmers, and the presidency of former actor Ronald Reagan. On a personal level for Michael, this 3-year time span included dreams of becoming an astronaut, a doctor, and a writer. A family trip to Washington, D.C. in which the Browns drove cross-country and were gone from home for 3 weeks, and the end of Michael's parents' marriage. His dog Socks was by his side this whole time, except for those weeks when the family went to D.C. Socks stayed home with a house sitter. By the age of 12, book-loving, school-craving Michael was well on his way to becoming the teacher that he is today.